Actually, previous class we were saying about the control structures in C language. What is the purpose of control structures? The main purpose of control structures, when we are saying, we can identify the various statements in a computer programs are running or executing in a sequential manner. That means after the execution of first statement, second statement will execute. Then after the second statement, third statement will execute. Like that, it will follow. That is the usual case of the programming structure. But if we want to change the order of execution of that program from one part of the program to the another part of the program, then we are using various control structures. Previous class, we had seen various types of control structures, including if and the various forms, and also the switch statement for the multi-way branching statement. Now we can see from the part of loops. Loop. Almost all the programming languages, this concept of loops are very familiar for the programmers, and it is very popular and it is very interesting. What is the purpose of loop? A loop means, suppose a set of statements we want to execute again and again and again and again. We will use this loops. There is a set of statements to be executed several number of times. Then we will use the concept of loops. So that is the case of the loops. That is, they say when the control is coming like this, and then the conditional code will be written here, and here the one condition will be checking. Based on the condition, the loop will be executing again and again and again. The set of statements will be executing. If the condition is false, it is coming out. That is the general syntax. Actually, in C also, C supports various types of loops. That is, one case is while loop, then for loop, do while loop, nested loops. These are the various types of loops in C language. So while loop means repeating a statement or group of statements when condition is true. Then for loop means a somewhat similar case, but multiple number of times based on a loop variable or a control variable. Based on the value of a loop variable or control variable, loop will be executing again and again. Do while loop means a somewhat similar case, but some changes are there that we will see. Now we will see. That means the condition checking. We will see now. Nested loops means loop within another loop. Okay, one by one we can see. First is while loop. What is while loop? While loop means repeatedly executing a set of statements. Syntax of while loop is coming like a while condition. While condition. This condition is nothing but a Boolean expression. Like a previous class we had seen, the condition can be a Boolean expression, and it can have a null value or a greater than null value or less than null value, that like that. That is true value or false value. Then when set of statements will execute. That is, whenever the condition is true, all the statements will execute again and again. Whenever condition is false, it is coming out from the loop. That is, condition is true, the set of statements will execute again and again and again and again. That is, when the condition is false, the control is just coming out from the loop. A programming example. Suppose a programming example means you can see here. That is, first part of the program will be similar to the other programs. And while a less than 20, when the condition is true, these statements will execute again and again and again. When condition is false, just coming out. So that means see 10 to 19, all the numbers are displaying. Okay, next loop is
Sir, കുറച്ച് പിള്ളേര് കേറാൻ നോക്കുന്നു.
Okay, one second. So next loop is for loop. For loop. So for loop means just similar to that while loop. For loop is just similar to the while loop only. But some difference is there. What is the difference? We can see. When we are seeing the syntax, we can identify. See the syntax for the initial value, condition, then increment. Init, condition, and increment. Then set of statements will. Init means that the first value, initial value will be there. Then it will be second step, the condition will be checking. Then third step, that means the statements will execute, and that means if the condition is true, the statement will execute, and then the control variable value will be incrementing. When we are seeing one example, we can identify what is the real meaning. Okay, then it will be incrementing. Then incrementing means after the increment, again condition is checking. If whether the condition is true, then the set of statements will execute. That means till that condition is, whenever this condition is true, the statements will execute again and again. That is happening in the case of for loop. The for loop is just somewhat similar to the while loop only, but what is the difference? The difference we are seeing here. Okay. Then, okay, now that is, see this flow diagram. Then the flow diagram, when we are seeing, we can see that is initial value. Then when condition is there, then condition and checking, and when if the condition is true, the statement will execute. After that, incrementing. After incrementing, again condition is checking. Please remember this flow. Please remember this flow always. Flow of this for loop. That is condition, code block, code is checking, code is executing, incrementing, again condition is checking, because many times many people will forget about this condition checking. They will think, oh, after incrementing, again it is executing. No, after incrementing, condition is checking. After that only, even the condition is true, then only it is executing. If it is false, just coming out of the loop. One example we can see a loop execution. Initial value of a equals 10. Then we are giving a less than 20 is the condition. A equals a plus 1. That is, a value is incrementing. What is a? A is called as control variable, or the variable which is using for controlling this loop variable, like that various terminology, control variable or loop variable. Okay, then we are giving value of a, percentage d, a, like that we are giving. So that means when that is the first value is a value of a is 10. So that means 10 is displaying. Then that is what is happening. A is a less than 20. Yes, 10 is always less than 20. So that means a equals a plus 1. Now what is the value of a? A value is incrementing to 1, means 10 is incrementing to 11. Now set 10 plus 1, 11. Now it is 11. So 11, again that is checking whether 11 is less than 20. Yes, it is 11 less than 20. So that value is displayed. Value of a is 11. Like that, condition condition is checking, and again it is incrementing. So that is the case of for loop up to the that condition is false. When the condition is false, it is just coming out from that loop. So that is the case of for loop. Very important loop. Okay, now first we saw while loop. Next we saw the for loop. Next we will see do while loop. One syntax difference is there. See, what is the syntax difference? See here, do statements while condition. That is the syntax. So what is happening here? Do, after that a set of statements will execute. After that only it is checking for the whether the condition is true or false. Because of that one, what will happen? Even though if the condition is false, at least once, minimum one time, the set of statements will execute in this loop. The condition true ആണോ false ആണോ എന്ന് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യാതെ തന്നെ ആദ്യം ഒരു തവണ എക്സിക്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തതിനു ശേഷം മാത്രമേ, only after that this condition is checking in the while loop, do while loop, that while after the while So because of that one, the statement will execute. പിന്നെ ബാക്കിയെല്ലാം അതേപോലെ തന്നെ പോകുന്നു. ഇതിന്റെ ആ ഫ്ലോ ഡയഗ്രാം നോക്കിയപ്പം ക്ലിയർ ആവും. Now they see first code is executing, condition is true. If condition is true, again code will be executing. When the condition is false, definitely it is coming out. See this example. Do print value of a is a. So percentage d a. So backslash n. What is backslash n? Previous class we had seen already what is backslash n. It is escape sequence or escape character or character constant. So it is escape sequence backslash n new line character. So okay, then a equals a plus 1. A equals a plus 1. Suppose if this is the case of a for loop, we could give that one here in the looping structure itself, a equals a plus 1. But when we are writing while loop or do while loop, we cannot write like that. We can write a equals a plus 1 only as the part of that body of the loop. That is the difference we have to notice between from the do while do and for loop. Please remember that one. Okay, see, it is just similar to that one. Now, what is the fourth category of loops? Nested loops. Just similar to the previous case. What is nested loop? Loop within another loop. So here, one for loop is there. Again, another for loop is there. See, for loop it is starting, here ending. Starting, ending. Remember, the starting means the ending should be there. Suppose if a loop is starting, the ending of that loop should be there. That is while loop or do while loop. Any cases we can use. That is the nested loop, and we can write the example for a nested loop also by using any of these things. Here the example for writing a prime number. Prime number, that is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. All these things are prime numbers. Suppose we want to write the prime numbers. How we will write the prime number? That is we can use that is loops within loop. For loop, another for loop. So I percentage. What is percentage sign? It is nothing but modulus sign. Previous class we had seen modulus. What is the modulus meaning? That is when we are dividing a number with another number, we are getting a remainder value. That remainder value is nothing but modulus value. Let me ask one question. Suppose 50 divided by 2. Then what is the remainder value? 25 into 2, 50. Remainder value is 0. Okay, remainder will be 0. Suppose another number is giving like a 10% 20. What will be the remainder value? Oh, somebody will think 20% 10. No, 10% 20 means the remainder will be 10 because the small number divided by the big number. So naturally that small number will be writing as the remainder. So remainder will be 10. Okay, suppose the multiple choice questions and are coming. Sometimes this type of question will come. Okay. Okay, these are all loop statements. Now we will see some loop control statements. Some statements which are using for controlling the entire loop. That statements will be called loop control statements. Some examples we can see like break statement, continue statement, go to statement. So we can see what is break statement. Break means breaking. Break means breaking. Yes. C is very simple. So whatever we are from the name, how we are seeing, there is breaking. From which is breaking? Suppose inside a loop or inside a switch statement, we are writing break statement just coming out from that loop, just coming out from that switch statement. So that is a break statement. So we can see this example. See, that is what is the syntax of that one? Just giving break semicolon. That's all. Flow diagram if you are drawing, that is conditional code, and the condition is giving, and the conditional code here. Suppose one break is there, means it will not check again the remaining part of that code at all. Just coming out. See this example. While a less than 20, print a value of percentage. Like that we are writing. Then we are writing if a greater than 15. When this condition is giving, we are giving break. Break means control will just coming out from this loop. So we control will not think about the remaining part of the loop at all. The control will not think about the remaining part of the looping structure at all. Just coming out from the loop. That is break statement. Continue. What is the difference of continue? Continue means it is somewhat similar to the break. But the thing is, it is just to continue from the next iteration, That means a loop is executing. So that means that whenever continue is coming, the remaining part of that code will just neglecting. See this flow diagram, then you will understand. It is similar to that break statement, but when continue is writing, again condition checking, that is just going to that next part of. It is that the remaining part of that code is neglecting. See this example, then you will identify. Skipping the iteration. See, that is if a equals 15, one do loop is started already here, and here one if statement is writing, and here we are writing skip the a equals a plus 1. Continue means just to continue with the next iteration. So just neglecting the next part of the remaining part of that loop. Continue means continuing with the next iteration. So next iteration, അടുത്ത ലൂപ്പിന്റെ അടുത്ത iteration തൊട്ട് കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യുക, വീണ്ടും കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യുക. Just neglecting or just avoiding the remaining part of that statement after that continue. That is the case of the continue statement. So this is the difference between break statement and continue statement. Okay. Now what is a go to statement? Go to, what is meaning? Go to just able to go to. Here also the same. That means go to, after that we are writing a label. Go to a label we are writing. Say go to label when we are writing. And after some place we are writing a label and a statement. Then control will directly going to that label. So go to A5 means control is directly going there. തിരിച്ചു വരുത്താൻ വേണ്ടി യാതൊരു വഴിയും നമ്മൾ എഴുതിയിട്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ പ്രോഗ്രാം വലിയ പ്രോബ്ലം ആയിട്ട് മാറും. See, statement 1, go to level 3, just coming after. But is when the statement 2 will execute, who knows? That is, see, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കേസസ് എല്ലാം നമ്മൾ കൃത്യമായിട്ട് ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ program will be a problematic one. So try to use this go to statement very carefully, otherwise it is a problem. So here say go to loop. Loop means just loop. There is a label. So like that it is called the go to statement. Then infinite loop will be there. Some cases we will write some loop, but the loop will execute again and again and again and again and again. There will not be any stopping of the ending of the or pausing of the loop at all. It will go on again. So that type of loop will be called as infinite loop. Infinite loop. That is to say, loop will run forever and ever. See, suppose we are giving for, like this, if we are giving for, then we are giving 2 semicolon. That means the initial value condition. What is the syntax? Just now we had seen for initial value condition, then increment. All these things we are just avoiding and we are writing means loop will again executing. So that is nothing but infinite loop. That is then how we can come out from the infinite loop? Only by pressing. We have to cancel. Cancel means C. So control C, or sometimes even control C may not work in some cases. Like that we will be controlling. So these much things we have to remember about the control structures of C language. Okay. Now we will see about the functions of C language. What is a function? Function is actually called as a building block of C program. Function is called as a building block of C program. What is a function? എന്താണ് ഫംഗ്ഷൻ? നമ്മുടെ മലയാളത്തിലൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പറയും എന്തെങ്കിലും കാര്യം അവിടെ നടക്കുന്നു, ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാം നടക്കുന്നു, ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷനാണ്. കാര്യം അവിടെ എന്തോ സംഭവിക്കുന്നു. Something should be happened. A function is actually a group of statements that together to perform a task. ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാമിന്റെ ഒരു ചെറിയ പാർട്ട് എന്ന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. That is nothing but function. Function is a group of statements that together perform a task. സിയിലെ ബിൽഡിംഗ് ബ്ലോക്ക് ആണെന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ that means at least one function is there. The main function, main itself is a function. Main function ആയതുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ഈ ഓപ്പൺ ബ്രാക്കറ്റും ക്ലോസ് ബ്രാക്കറ്റും നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. So then function should be having a declaration. Function should be having a declaration. What is a declaration? Function declaration tells the compiler about a function's name, return type, parameters. എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്? Three things. That is function name, return type, and parameters. That means we are introducing a function to the program, function to the computer. So function declaration should have a function's name, then the return type and parameters. So after that, a function definition providing the actual body of the function. So that is the difference between function declaration and function body. Definition, function declaration and function definition. Function declaration means function's name, return type, and parameters we're getting. The definition means defining. So definition means the actual body of that function we are getting. Okay. Actually, when we are thinking about the functions, we can tell there are mainly two types of functions will be there. Mainly two types. That is, one is the intrinsic function and another one is extrinsic function, or we can tell as implicit function and another one is library function. One is implicit function. നമ്മൾ പ്രത്യേകമായിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ കോഡ് ഒന്നും എഴുതേണ്ടതില്ല. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ str_cat അല്ലെ str_cat എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു ഫംഗ്ഷൻ നമ്മൾ എഴുതുക. അതിന് നമ്മൾ പ്രത്യേകമായിട്ട് ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്തൊന്നും എഴുതേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ strlen നമ്മൾ പ്രത്യേകിച്ചൊന്നും എഴുതേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല. സിസ്റ്റം തന്നെ അത് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. നമ്മൾ അത് ഉപയോഗിച്ചാൽ മാത്രം മതി. റെഡിമെയ്ഡ് ആണ്. നമ്മൾ കടയിൽ പോയിട്ട് ചില സാധനങ്ങൾ വാങ്ങുമല്ലോ. some items we are buying. Suppose we want to buy some cooked items. We are just buying that items and we will have. So similar way, that is already prepared. Library functions will be already available. It is called library functions. എന്നാൽ നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടേതായ ഫങ്ഷൻസ് നമുക്ക് എഴുതാൻ പറ്റും. അങ്ങനെ എഴുതുന്നതിനെയാണ് other type of functions, user defined function. So one is library function and another one is user defined function. So first type library function and the second type is user defined function. ഈ യൂസർ ഡിഫൈൻഡ് ഫംഗ്ഷൻ തന്നെ വീണ്ടും നമുക്ക് പല കാറ്റഗറി കാണാം. അത് കാണുന്നതിന് മുമ്പായിട്ട് ഇതിന്റെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, ജനറൽ ഫോം ഓഫ് ഡിഫൈനിങ് എ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ എന്തൊക്കെയാണെന്ന് കണ്ട് ജനറൽ ഇപ്പൊ മുമ്പ് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിരുന്നു. സപ്പോസ് ഫോർ ഡിഫൈനിങ് we want to use function name, parameter list, or then return type. That means return type, function name, parameter list. എന്താണ് parameter list എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ? Parameter is nothing but that variables which we are using inside this function that we are writing as a list. Then body of that function we are writing. What are the statements? So return type means the function will return a data type. That is called return type. If it is not returning, we will use void. Then function name means sadharana pole name of the function we are writing. Okay. Then the actually parameter is like a placeholder. Actually parameter is like a placeholder. Just we are referring that one. That value referred to as actual parameter or argument. That is, we are just writing when a function is invoked, we are passing a value to the parameter. When we are invoking a function, when we are calling a function, when we are executing that function, actually a value will be passing to this parameter. The value is referred to as a actual parameter or argument. That value will be called as actual parameter or argument. So we are writing all the list of that parameters here. Then function body means what is the statements to be executed by using this function. For example, നോക്കിക്കേ, ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മളിവിടെ ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷൻ എഴുതുകയാണ്. ഇന്റ് മാക്സ് ഓഫ് ഇന്റ് num1 എഴുതുകയാണ്. മാക്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫംഗ്ഷന്റെ പേരാണ്. ഇന്റ് num1, ഇന്റ് num2, like that we are writing the list. Then after that we are writing if num1 greater than num2, result is equal to num1, else result num2. Then return result. Return result means suddenly this result value will be returning to that function. Okay. Then function declaration. So first function definition, next is function declaration. What is function declaration? We already had seen. Function declaration telling that compiler about a function name and how to call the function. Function declaration telling the compiler that what is the about a function name and how we are calling that function. Hello function, how we are calling that function. So that is we will write a return type function name within bracket the parameter list we will write. Example, int max, just within bracket we are writing int num1 num2, or otherwise we can write int comma int, like that also we can. Here we are writing, that means parameter names are not important in function declaration at all. But that is int a or int b, like that is not at all. Only their type is required, because that is why it is called a placeholder. Just we want something as a placeholder, that's all. We are not thinking about that name of that parameter which is there. Just something should be there for holding that placeholder. So that is int num1 comma int num2, or just we can write int comma int, like that we can call. So that is why the parameter is called as a placeholder. Now next is calling a function. What is a calling a function? Suppose now I am a function. You are another function. Then I am calling you. Hello, hello, like that I am calling you. That is, I will be the calling function. You will be the called function. C-A-L-L-E-D. Called alla, C-O-L-D alla. So I will be the calling function and called function. ഒരു function വിളിച്ച ഫംഗ്ഷനും മറ്റൊന്ന് വിളിക്കപ്പെട്ട ഫംഗ്ഷനും ഇതാണ്. So to call a function, we simply need to pass the required parameters along with that function name. And if that function returns a value, then we are storing that returned value. Actually, that is happening. Just we are calling that function. See this example where that is through it is a main function, and here a equals 100, b equals 200. Then inside this function we are writing ret, return equals max of a comma b. Then max of a comma b means the max function is calling. The max function is calling. Where is that max function? So it will be somewhere. So it will be here. It is starting here. That is, it is a function we are writing here, and we will write here with so int max int m1 comma int. Oh, here somebody will be having confusion. So that is a star slash, and if that means whether it is comment. No, it is not comment. Actually, comment is from here to here. Only that place it is commented. It is, this one is not at all commented. So int max of like that we are writing the function, and in this inside this function we are writing if num1 greater than num2, result is equal to num1. Else result is equal to num2. Then return result. Suddenly when return result is there, that value will be storing here. That will be coming to that value ret. That value we are printing in that, or we are just printing in the main function. So that this is the way a calling function will be executing when we are calling. Actually, function arguments, just now we had seen. So the arguments will be there. And if a function is to use arguments, it must declare variables that accept the values of that arguments. Again, I will repeat. That is, if a function is to use arguments, it must declare that variables that accept the values of that arguments. These variables are called formal parameters of that function. It is a formal thing. There is a need. That is, there is a need. So formal parameters behave like other local variables. Because formal other local, what is other local variables? They are nothing but actual arguments. Previously we had seen. So that is actual arguments. Here it is a formal, because for representing that actual arguments, we are using this one for passing this value, for accepting the values of that arguments. So that is nothing but formal arguments. Actually, when we are calling a function, there are two ways we can passing these things. One is called by value, and another one is called by argument or called by reference. Called by value means when we are calling a function a to b, that value of values will be just transferring to that next thing. But call by reference means instead of passing this called value, the address of that memory location is passing. That means the copies the address of an argument into the formal parameter. That is actually happening in the call by reference. Okay. Now call by value, see, that is the one call by value or call by reference we can see here. That is when we are using call by value. That is a see, just we are we suppose we want to swapping two numbers. So temp equals x, x is equal to y is equal to temp. Usual program we are writing. But when we are using all the things, the same thing by using the call by reference. So see this thing we can use for interchanging the values, and before swapping what are the values, and after swapping what are the values. All these things we can write it. But the same thing if we are writing for the place of the call by reference, they see the difference. We will write use the pointer concept. So let me tell what is a pointer. What is a variable? Variable will be variable is a quantity whose value will change during the execution of program. It is a memory location. So that suppose A is a memory location. A will contain a value 5. A will have A is a memory location, and A is having an address also. But A is having a content like 5. Suppose B is another memory location, and B is having an address like 0001 is the address. Suppose this memory first variable A is containing the address of another memory location, then the first variable is called as a pointer. So again I will tell, pointer is a variable or memory location which is containing the address of another memory location. Now I am sitting here, I am thinking about something else. Oh, that is like that, like that, like that, like that. I am thinking. So suppose if I am thinking in my mind, even though I am sitting here, in my mind that place will be there. So I am pointing to that place. So pointer is a memory location which will contain the address of another memory location. Pointer is a memory location which will contain the address of another memory location. So that is a pointer. That is a pointer. So for pointer, that is the content of pointer, like that for representing that one, we will write it star x, and address of representing ampersand. Address of ampersand sign or and sign, and the content of means star sign. So that is why see that is we are using int star x star y, int star. The just previous program, but we are using that pointer concept. Then when we are writing the pointer concept here, see this thing, that is ampersand A and ampersand B, like that we will write, and we will get the correct value also. So that is by using the call by reference. So call by reference means it will that reference, that variable's address itself is passing. Call by value means that value of that variable is contained, that value only passing. But the call by reference means that the address of that memory location, that is actually passing. That is nothing but call by reference. That is the main difference between call by value and call by reference, or pass by value to pass by arguments, or pass by value and pass by reference. Okay. Actually, then. And when we are thinking about the scope rules, local variables will be there and global variables will be there. And similarly, what is local variables? Suppose a function is containing some variables. That is, suppose a function is having, that is here one function is starting and ending this function. Inside this one, we are writing some variables. The scope of these variables will be available only inside that function. That will be called as local variable. Global variable means globally available to be everywhere. That means, see, before starting int itself, we are writing int g, like that we are writing. So it is globally available to all the program. Everywhere it is available. So that is called as global variable. So that is the local variable and local variable. Then formal parameters we had already seen, and one example program here it is written. Just you can go through this program about that formal parameters. So the global variable declaration and the formal parameters, it is written here. Okay, now that is the local and the global variables. We can initialize the we can initialize the values. That is as in the case of all the other values. But int values will be 0. Char value will be \0. That we have to remember, because every time \0 will be representing the null character. \0 null character. All the strings will be ending with a \0. Last character of a string will be \0 null character. Float 0, double 0, pointer, null. Pointer will be having null. Okay. Now, another one important concept of the C language we are going to see. Arrays. So what is array? So what is a variable we had seen? Variable is containing a value. Variable is a memory location which will contain a value. Suppose a variable, that is a set of variables or set of memory locations, a consecutive set of memory location which will contain some values, which will contain similar values. Then that type of data structure, it is called array. Array is a data structure which is containing a collection of similar data elements. So you can see this example. That is, first element is numbers of 0. First element in this array is called array. And numbers of 0, numbers of 1, the numbers of 2, numbers of 3, like that, last element. So that is the first element is nothing but numbers. So the numbers of 0. The name of the array is numbers. So first name of the array is numbers, or name of the array is A, means A of 0, 0 subscripting, or 0 initializing. So first element of the array is 0th element. First element of the array is 0th element. So 0th element is containing some value. If it is an integer value, all the elements of the array will be containing integer values. Now we have to declare the arrays. How we can declare array? How we declare the variables int A or int B? Similar way we are declaring. So that means type, then array name, then array size. How many variables should be, how many elements should be in that array? That is representing the array size. So single dimension array, it is a single dimension array. So we are writing, it can be double balance of 10. That means balance is the name of the array, 10 is the size of the array, double is the return type or type. So that means suppose another array is there, A is the array in the A of 10. 10 elements will be there. So which then how we are initializing the array, how we can give the initial values in the array. That is just we are giving double balance of 5 equals braces, open braces. What are the initial value we have to give? Just by giving 1000.0 comma 2.0 comma, like that, all the values we are giving. Close the braces, not brackets. Close the braces, semicolon. This is the way we are initializing double or any whatever the way. That is, suppose only one value we are there. Suppose only one value we have to give. Fifth element we have to give. What is fifth element of an array? A of 4 will be the fifth element. Am I right? Yes. A of 0 is the first. A of 1 is the second. A of 2 is the, like that. A of 4 will be the fifth element. So then we will write. See here this example. A of 4. Similarly, balance of 4 equals 50.0. Like that we are giving. So that means all the elements are coming here. Now, how we can access these array elements? How we are accessing? Think how we can access. For accessing, we have to use loop. For loop, we can use easily. Just giving for loop, we can access elements. Say for int I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Like that, then say that is n of I equal to I plus 10 means first n of I, what is I value? N of 0, n of 0. Then n of next case will be n of 1. Like that it will be following. So that means Suppose okay, by saying this array, see that is all the elements will be displayed here. Suppose we want to write, you can write one example. For that is, suppose we want to display elements from 1 to 100 or 1 to 10. How we will write it? For I equals 0, 0, I less than less than or equals 100, I plus plus. So that is the loop. Now next is printf. We are writing. First, suppose before displaying means we have to write array elements in the array means scanf by using scanf. Okay. So like that we will write it. Then that is suppose only one dimension is there, it is called a single dimension array. If it is more than one dimensional means a multi-dimensional array. It can be 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional or anything can be there. Then we can passing arrays to a function, then return array from a function, pointer to an array. Like that, all the operations can be done in an array. So what is a multi-dimensional array? Dimension, if it is more than one, it is called a multi-dimensional array. If it is a two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array. If it is more than one, 2 or 3 or 4, it is called a multi-dimensional array. How we will declare multi-dimensional array? Type, name, that is similar way, type, name, size 1, size 2, etc. like that. See, int, that is array name, 5, 10, like that we are writing. So that means this way we can declare that multi-dimensional array. Then that is suppose multi-dimensional. This is an example for the multi-dimensional array. Matrix, you may be remembering. You studied in mathematics matrix. So this first element A of A00, A01, next A02, A03. Like that we can draw all the elements A10, A11, A12, 13, 20, 21, 2, like that, all these elements. So when we are initializing the two-dimensional array, how we are giving? This is an array of 3 rows and 4 columns. See, which is the column? This is column 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 rows and 4 columns. Here we want to give 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Next 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that we are declaring. That means int 3a of 3, 4. 3 and 4 columns are there. 3 rows and 4 columns are there. Okay. Like this we can, or we can just give all the elements. No need of giving separate braces. Without that also similar way, without giving separate braces, all the elements we can write together also. That is also possible. Okay. Then how we are accessing the two-dimensional array, or how we are accessing similar way of that is how we access the single dimensional array. Just a similar way we can use. That means by using the for loop. What is the case? By using that for loop multiple number of times. Multiple, that means array within array. Sorry, not loops within loops. That is one for loop, another loop. That means for I equal to 0, for j equal to 0. See, a percentage d. So that means 2 times we are writing. So like that. See, first that means first element 0, 0, next 0, 1, next 1, 0, next 1, 1, like that, all the elements. So this is the way we are using the accessing the multi-dimensional array elements. Now we can passing the arrays to the functions we can pass. Just we can pass. How we will use? That is first way. Just we are writing that function name, and after that what are the ways we have to use? Then that size, everything we are representing. And just like the other programs structure what we are writing, then just a similar way, that function name we are writing, and then we are writing, say, sum plus is equal to array of I. Just that whatever the values to be used, it will be writing here. And this is the way we can use arrays and functions. Okay. Then return array from function, that is also just returning that arrays and functions can be clubbed together. That is because C programming does not allow to return an entire array as an argument to a function. Entire array cannot be returned as an argument to a function. but we can return a pointer to an array by specifying the array's name without an index. Suppose array name is A, then that is without an index. A of what is index? A of I means I is index. A of I means I is index. So without writing that A of I, just by typing A, name of the array, we can access that one. So that is this example we are writing here. See R of I, like that one example for that one, it is given here. And how that output is coming, that is also. Then pointer to array. What is a pointer to array? What is a pointer? Pointer is nothing but the memory location which will contain the address of another memory location. So pointer to array. That is some understanding that the pointer concept we can implement in that array concept. Just we can use that one example program we had. It is written here. Just you can go through that program and program with the examples and programming example and how the output is seen. It is just similar to the previous case. Okay. Already we had seen pointer is a variable whose value is the address. No, okay. Pointer is a variable whose value is the address of another variable, whose value will contain the address of another memory location. Okay. Now what is a string? What is a string? Previous class we had seen string will contain the various characters putting together within double quotes. What is the last character of a string? It is nothing but a null character representing with the \0. Suppose hello is a string. See, greetings of 6, like that H1, E second one, L next, O next. Finally, one \0 will be there. That is called as null character. See, it is written here. So actually, inside memory, it will be like this. Variable HELLO. It is this one. See, \0. Each and every memory location will have its own address also. That address will be representing here. And so when we are writing the thing inside the program, we have to write it like this. So that means the string will contain the final, the last character is the null character. Various string functions can be used. Various string functions are there. Some examples we can see. strcpy, s1, s2. That means the copy is the string s2 to s1. Second string will be copied to the first string. String copy. String cat, cat means a concatenation. What is concatenation? That is a clubbing. That is means appending two things. My name is John T. Abraham. So John, one string, T another, Abraham is John T. Abraham, concatenating. So that means the concatenation of the string. Then strlen. Len means length. strlen of s1. That means string length will be returning. strcmp, comparing. That if the string, both the strings are same, 0 will be getting. If first one is less than the second one, that is less than 0. If reverse case means greater than 0. This is the case, strcmp. Then strchr. Chr means that returns a pointer to the first occurrence of a character in S1. That is strchr. Then strstr returns a pointer to the first occurrence of a string S2 in S1. Here it was a first character. Here it is the string. That is the difference between strchr and strstr. Chr means character, str means a string. These things inside the program we can incorporate and we can write all these things inside the program. Okay. Now, type def. Type def is somewhat similar to the hash define. Hash define we had already studied in the previous class. Somewhat similar concept to the type define. So what is a type def? Hash, somewhat similar to the hash define. So hash define is a directive. Actually a directive. Directive means the first part of the program itself we are writing. Type def is also similar, but that is just similarly we are writing hash define true 1. So defining that one, say 1. But type def, what is the thing we are writing? Type def means we are defining that some variable to another name. That means providing a keyword type def, which we can use to give a type by a new name. A new name is given. So that is the difference between the typed of and hash define. Hash define mainly using for the constant declaration and all. Previous class already we had seen. Okay, now another one important thing, input and output. Okay, what is input? What is output? What we are giving to the computer, that is input. From computer we are getting something, that is output. So in the computer, that is some standard library files are there to be used for input and output. std in, std out, stdr, all these things will be they are using. And first we will this one we will see after seeing the another thing, that is scanf and printf function. So scanf is a main the input statement or input function we are using. Scanf and printf both are sitting in the standard the library stdio.h, standard input output header file. That is why when we are writing the program, we will write hash include stdio.h. This will contain the scanf and printf function, and that we will use. Okay, what is the syntax of the scanf? Scanf. After that, we will write within double quotes. We will write that is see this example. Then we will identify the what is the syntax. Scanf. Here percentage s percentage d. That means it is nothing but a format specifier. It is called a format specifier. Then str comma ampersand I. What is the meaning of that one? It is nothing but variable list. That means the syntax of scanf statement is having two parts. First part is the format specifier, that is specifying the format. What is the specifying format? If it is a integer, then the format will be we are writing as percentage d. If it is a float, then we are specifying as percentage f. If it is a character, we are representing percentage c. If it is a string, we will not write percentage. We are not writing that. We will write percentages, but when representing these variables, we will not write ampersand sign for the string. So that is why scanf percentage s percentage d. That is these things we are writing. See, that is format specifier variable list. Since it is a string, we will not write ampersand. All the other cases, it's an integer, so we will write ampersand. If it's a float, also we will write ampersand. All the other cases we will write that one. So it is a format specifier. Then printf statement, what is the syntax? Similar way we are writing the printf statement for the output statement. So printf within bracket format specifier comma variable list. So printf, otherwise we are writing say printf enter a value, that is a string we are writing. So that is if we are using some percentage d, then here that percentage d, suppose we want to write the value of a I here, I is a 5, then 5 should be displayed here, means we will write printf percentage d within outside comma, outside this double quotes we will write I, that means I value will be displaying here. So that is the printf and the scanf statement. Scanf statement is a what statement? Input statement. Printf statement is a output statement. Similar to this scanf and printf, we are using getters and putters functions also. Getting and putting. Getters and putters functions we are writing, so just similar to the scanf statement. If it is a character only getting means get char, and if it is a character only printing means put char functions will be there. And if it is a string means get s, and if it is a string means put s we are using. But generally, first and the most important thing we have to remember is the scanf and printf. All the other things are only secondary thing. Okay, so that is the thing about the input and output statement. Then C is using some preprocessor statements also. Preprocessor statements, the hash define, hash include, all these things are called as preprocessors commands. By using hash, hash is starting, hash symbol is starting. So inserting header file. What is a header file? Just now we had seen stdio.h. So standard input output header file. That file will be containing all the input and output statements. So that is nothing but a header file. Then hash include, that is what is the syntax of hash include? hash include, then stdio.h. That means hash include file. So that is the syntax. Just remember that is when if it is asking for some syntax, please keep in our mind some think about some examples. Then from that examples, it will be easy for us to write the syntax. Okay. Then include operation. Okay, include operation. We are writing that hash include. Okay, including means including that contents of that type. Then typecasting. Another thing is typecasting. Typecasting. Casting means converting. Casting here meaning is converting. We want to convert some integer to float, or we want to convert some data type to another data type. What is this? Implicitly, C program itself will do that one. But explicitly we can do, that is type name and expression. This is the syntax we will use, type name expression, like that we will use. See this example, double of sum, like that we do. That means this number will be, sum will be converting to double. So that is called as typecasting. Actually, inside itself, computer will do the, C is giving some integer promotion operation. What is integer promotion operation is nothing but, suppose some values of integer type is smaller than the int or unsigned int, then automatically it will be converting to int or unsigned by naturally. But apart from that one also we can do that these operations, because usually the arithmetic conversion will be doing like this. This is the way arithmetic conversion is doing. All the integer will be converting to this unsigned int, long, unsigned long, long. This is like this. The internally, what is the meaning? Suppose an expression we are writing, a plus, b plus, c plus, d plus, like that. Inside that expression, suppose the various data types are using, some part of the conversion will be taken care in this by using this order by the system itself. That is called, that is we are not bothering much about that one. Explicitly we can do the conversion also. Okay, now another one important concept we can study now. What is recursion? Recursion. Recursion means calling a function by itself is called recursion. Let me repeat again. Calling a function by itself. Like calling a function. Now I am a function. Suppose if you are a function, I am calling you. Hello, hello. Yes, it is possible. But if I am calling myself, hello, hello, like that, if I am calling myself, that is called recursion. Recursion means calling a function by itself. See this example. That is say recursion, and then calling the same function. That means calling again and again and again the same function. See, in the main program we are calling this recursion function. But what will happen? This recursion function is executing. It is coming here again, calling again, calling. What is the actually purpose of this one? Many purposes are there. Factorial example, you know, suppose we want to see the factorial of a number. 5 factorial means 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. But for how we got, it is nothing but 4 factorial into 5. Oh, how this 4 factorial we got? It is nothing but 3 factorial into 4. Like that. So that means here in that case, see, factorial. That means the return of I into factorial of I minus 1. That means this is just I minus 1. That is why I told 4 factorial means 3 factorial into 4. 3 factorial we already got into 4. So that is nothing but return I into factorial of I minus 1. Like that. So that is the same thing we can apply in the Fibonacci series also. You already had done Fibonacci series in the computer lab, you may be remembering. So that Fibonacci series, that is 0, 1, first, then is 0 plus 1, 1, then 1 plus, that is next number, 0, 1, first two numbers, 0 plus 1, 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. Like that, there is just the previous two numbers are adding to get the current number. Just previous two numbers are adding to get the current numbers. See, return Fibonacci of I minus 1 plus Fibonacci of I minus 2. Like that, that is calling a function by itself. So like that we can write that Fibonacci series we can write very well. So this recursion is another important feature of the C programming. So like this, most of the important concepts of C programming we had seen just now.